In the vastness of the galaxy, where stars and planets spanned far beyond the comprehension of the ordinary being, the Galactic Empire stood as the epitome of power and technological prowess. With a dominion that spread across thousands of star systems, their rule was unchallenged, their might unopposed, and their arrogance unmatched. The Empire had encountered many species and civilizations in its relentless expansion across the cosmos. Each encounter was the same: initial resistance followed by inevitable subjugation. Their war machine was a spectacle of dread, equipped with starships that could obliterate planets and weapons that could alter the fabric of reality itself. To the Empire, war was not just conquest, it was art. On the fringe of the Empire's boundaries lay a small, seemingly insignificant solar system with a planet known as Earth. The humans of Earth were a peculiar species, emotional, unpredictable, and stubbornly resilient. They were technologically primitive compared to the colossal might of the Empire. Their military, a quaint assembly of forces, seemed almost laughable with their ballistic weaponry and crude space vessels. When the Empire's Grand Admiral Zarkor received the scouting reports about Earth, he scoffed. Primitive beasts. They still cling to their terrestrial bonds and petty conflicts. What can they hope to achieve against us? His laughter echoed through the command deck, filled with officers who shared his disdain. Yet the humans had something the reports didn't fully capture, something no Imperial scout could quantify: their bond with the creatures known as dogs. To the Empire, they were just another form of lesser animal life, incapable of any real threat. But to the humans, dogs were more than pets. They were partners, protectors, and in many cases warriors. As the Imperial fleet prepared to make an example of Earth, a small delegation of human diplomats and military leaders requested a parley aboard the Imperial flagship. Admiral Zarkor, amused and curious, agreed. It would be a welcome diversion to see these humans grovel before the might of the Empire. The day of the meeting, the humans came aboard the flagship. The delegation was small: a few diplomats in simple suits, a couple of military officers in decorated uniforms, and, oddly enough, 2 large dogs, each wearing a vest that seemed to be bristling with some sort of technology. Admiral Zarkor laughed as he saw the animals. "You bring beasts to a negotiation? What folly is this?" But his laughter was cut short when the human general, a stern woman with sharp eyes, spoke. "Admiral Zarkor, these are not mere beasts. These are our partners, and they represent the best of what we can offer in a fight against any threat. Underestimate them at your peril." The room fell silent as one of the dogs, upon a subtle nod from the general, activated its vest. A holographic display sprang to life around the animal, showing complex tactical simulations and real-time data feeds. "This is K9 Tactical Unit 47, or as we call him, Titan. Each of our military dogs is equipped with advanced tactical gear, AI-assisted combat strategies, and biotic enhancements. They are capable of operating independently in environments that would kill a human soldier instantly. They are more than animals. They are an integral part of our military." Admiral Zarkor's amusement turned to intrigue. The Empire had encountered many forms of warfare, but this was something different, something unforeseen. As the demonstration continued, Titan executed a series of commands, showcasing agility, strategic planning, and combat capabilities that rivaled some of the Empire's own automated drones. The room of hardened Imperial veterans watched, some with skepticism, others with a dawning respect. It was clear now that the humans had developed a symbiosis with these creatures, harnessing their natural abilities and enhancing them to levels that could potentially pose a real challenge. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. Perhaps there was more to these primitive beings than he had thought. The laughter had ceased, replaced by a contemplative silence. Maybe, just maybe, this small blue planet had something to teach the mighty Galactic Empire after all. The revelation aboard the Imperial flagship had left the room charged with a mix of tension and curiosity. Admiral Zarkor, a veteran of countless campaigns, was not one to admit surprise easily, yet the display of human ingenuity had managed to pierce his veil of indifference. The humans had introduced an element to warfare that the Empire had neither predicted nor prepared for: the tactical use of canines, enhanced to levels that approached the capabilities of sentient machines, was unprecedented. General Alara Miles, the human military officer, did not miss the shift in the atmosphere. Her gaze was steady, her voice even more so as she continued. "Admiral, we have not come merely to surprise or entertain you. We are here to propose an alliance." The concept of an alliance was foreign to the Empire's usual dealings. They were accustomed to subjugation, not cooperation. However, Zarkor's interest had been piqued. "And why," he asked with a measure of control, "would the Galactic Empire consider an alliance with Earth?" "Because, Admiral, what you have seen today is merely the beginning. Earth is under threat from the Krillian swarm, a force that even your scouts have deemed as a significant nuisance. We believe that our combined forces, particularly our K9 units, could offer a tactical advantage in cleansing your space of the swarm." The Krillian swarm was a collective of voracious insect-like creatures that consumed everything in their path, breeding at a rate that made them a scourge on any system they infested. The Empire had been planning an extermination campaign, but the swarms were elusive and resilient. Intrigued by the potential of turning Earth's unique military asset to the Empire's advantage, Zarkor convened his council. The discussions went deep into cycles, with many of the senior commanders expressing skepticism about relying on an untested alliance, especially one involving such a primitive planet. Meanwhile, the humans were given quarters on a nearby station as the Empire deliberated. General Miles took this time to further showcase Earth's strategic value. She organized a live demonstration of the K9 units, inviting Imperial strategists and tacticians to observe. The dogs, equipped with their combat gear, performed search and rescue operations, explosive detection, and combat scenarios against automated drones. The demonstrations were a resounding success. The dogs' ability to adapt to rapidly changing environments, their heightened senses, and their fearless nature in the face of danger impressed even the harshest critics. The Empire's technology was supreme, but it lacked the adaptability and emotional intelligence these Earth creatures exhibited. Back on the flagship, Admiral Zarkor presented his case. "Counselors, the threat of the Krillian swarm grows daily. Our traditional tactics have slowed them, but not enough. These humans and their dogs offer a new way, a different way. I say we harness it. We strike an alliance not out of weakness, but out of strategic opportunity." The council was divided, but the potential benefits tipped the scales. An alliance was approved. A temporary tactical collaboration, the first of its kind for the Empire. Upon receiving the news, General Miles was both relieved and determined. She communicated back to Earth. "Prepare the K9 units for deployment. We're not just going to show the galaxy what we're made of. We're going to change how the galaxy fights wars." As the human and Imperial forces began their joint preparations, the Krillian swarm advanced, unaware of the unique alliance forming against them. Earth and the Galactic Empire, once improbable partners, were now united by necessity. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of both species' cunning, courage, and capacity for war. The galaxy watched, and somewhere in the vast cosmos, the stars seemed to hold their breath. As the alliance between Earth and the Galactic Empire solidified, preparations for the impending conflict with the Krillian swarm intensified. The base of operations was established on a moon orbiting a gas giant in a system that had recently faced minor skirmishes with the swarm. This strategic position provided a natural fortress, its turbulent storms and strong magnetic fields creating a barrier against direct assault. The moon itself, named Icarus Station by the humans, became a buzzing hive of activity. Imperial engineers and human technicians worked side by side, integrating Earth's unique technologies with the Empire's advanced systems. The K9 units, now affectionately referred to by the Imperial troops as Guardians, were at the center of this integration. Their abilities were augmented with Imperial cybernetics and armor, enhancing their natural capabilities to a startling degree. General Miles oversaw the training operations, her presence a steady beacon for the human troops who sometimes found the scale of the Empire's war machine overwhelming. Meanwhile, Admiral Zarkor, now more a collaborator than a commander to the humans, took to visiting the training grounds, watching the Guardians weave through obstacle courses designed to simulate the chaotic environments of Kryllian-infested planets. The heart of Icarus Station held a command center where tactical simulations ran continuously. Here, human strategic ingenuity met Imperial logistical capabilities in a fusion that produced a series of potential battle plans. Each scenario was meticulously analyzed, with the Guardians' roles varying from frontline assault to deep reconnaissance. During one such planning session, a breakthrough occurred. A junior Imperial analyst, inspired by the Guardians' olfactory capabilities, suggested using them to detect pheromone trails left by the Kryllians, an approach previously unconsidered due to the swarm's rapid movements and the complexity of their trail signatures. Excited by this new strategy, General Miles proposed a field test, which Admiral Zarkor approved with an uncharacteristic nod of respect towards human ingenuity. A fleet, accompanied by a team of Guardians, was dispatched to a nearby system recently hit by the swarm. The test was more than successful. It was a revelation. The Guardians could indeed track the swarm's pheromones, leading the Imperial forces directly to a previously hidden brooding nest. With this new intelligence, the mood among the Alliance shifted from cautious optimism to a charged readiness. News of the successful test spread quickly through the ranks and morale soared. Even the most skeptical of the Empire's commanders had to acknowledge the vital role Earth's contributions were now playing in the galactic theater. Meanwhile, deep in the uncharted voids between star systems, the Kryllian swarm, a relentless tide of destruction, continued its advance. Unaware and uncaring of the alliance it had inadvertently spawned, it moved towards Icarus Station, driven by primitive instincts to consume and multiply. Back on Icarus, as the final preparations were laid down, General Miles and Admiral Zarkor reviewed the fleets and troops. The Guardians, standing beside their human handlers, equipped with the latest Imperial technology, were not just a testament to human creativity, but a symbol of a new way of warfare. As the first alerts of the swarm's approach echoed through the station's sensors, the Alliance braced for what was to come. In the coming battle, not only the fate of Earth and the immediate stars hung in the balance, but also the potential for a new understanding of cooperation in a galaxy too often divided by fear and ambition. The stage was set, the players were ready, and the galaxy held its breath as the first signs of the swarm appeared on the horizon. The horizon of Icarus Station darkened as the Kryllian swarm converged, a billowing cloud of destruction that turned day into night. The swarm, a living, breathing mass of creatures with razor-sharp mandibles and exoskeletons that could withstand the vacuum of space, approached with the inevitability of a storm tide. Their numbers were vast, a sea of bodies that moved with a singular, devastating purpose. In the command center of Icarus Station, the tension was palpable. Screens lit up with real-time data, strategic simulations running at a frenetic pace. General Miles and Admiral Zarkor stood side by side, a united front against the looming threat. Their plan was daring, a combination of direct engagement and guerrilla tactics, leveraging the Guardians' enhanced capabilities for deep infiltration and sabotage. As the first wave of the swarm neared, the Imperial fleet launched a barrage of plasma cannons, creating a fiery curtain in the void. The Guardians aboard stealth dropships penetrated the chaos. Their mission was critical: plant a series of biochemical charges that would disrupt the swarm's pheromone communications, sowing confusion and disorder. Each Guardian team was led by a human handler and an Imperial tactical officer, a blend of expertise and experience. These teams maneuvered through the debris of shattered swarm ships, their paths illuminated by the eerie bioluminescence of Kryllian bodies. The Guardians moved with precision, their enhanced senses allowing them to dodge attacks and navigate through the hostile environment. On the ground, the battle raged. Imperial ground forces, supported by heavy mechs and aerial drones, engaged the swarm at every turn. The Kryllians were relentless, but the disciplined fire of the Empire's troops held them at bay. Amidst this chaos, the Guardians executed their mission with lethal efficiency, placing the charges at predetermined points. Back at the command center, the moment to detonate the charges came. General Miles gave the order, and a series of deep, resonating thuds echoed through the station's audio feeds. Within moments, the effect became apparent. Sections of the swarm halted, their movements erratic, as others turned on each other, their instinctive hierarchy disrupted. Seizing the moment, Admiral Zarkor launched the second phase of their plan. Specialized drones, carrying payloads of a newly developed neurotoxin, dove into the heart of the swarm. The toxin, designed to affect only the Krillians, spread quickly, paralyzing many of them where they floated in space. The tide began to turn. With the swarm in disarray, the Imperial forces pressed their advantage. From Icarus Station, squadrons of fighters swept through the enemy ranks, targeting now vulnerable swarm motherships. Each victory was relayed back to the command center, where it was met with grim satisfaction and renewed focus. However, the battle was far from over. The swarm's sheer size meant that even a disorganized enemy was a dangerous one. As the fighters returned to refuel and the ground troops regrouped, the command team assessed their next moves. In the midst of this, an unexpected transmission was received. It was from a distant human outpost, previously thought lost to the swarm. They had been inspired by Earth's resistance and had managed to hold out, using guerrilla tactics learned from broadcasts of the initial engagements. They were now ready to join the fight, providing crucial reinforcements and opening a new front against the swarm. This news bolstered the morale of all at Icarus Station. What had started as a desperate alliance was evolving into a galactic resistance, with humans and the Galactic Empire at the heart of it. As they prepared for the next wave of the battle, General Miles and Admiral Zarkor shared a look of quiet resolve. This war was not just about survival now. It was about unity, resistance, and the forging of a new path for all species in the galaxy. The resurgence of hope sparked by the unexpected aid from the distant human outpost invigorated the alliance. News of their stand, holding out against seemingly insurmountable odds, coursed through the channels of Icarus Station like a revitalizing wind. This development prompted a swift reevaluation of strategies, galvanizing the combined forces to not only defend, but also go on the offensive. In the depths of space, beyond the immediate theater of war, Admiral Zarkor initiated a bold maneuver. He ordered the construction of mobile fortress platforms, effectively turning space stations into massive, armored bastions that could be maneuvered into strategic positions. These fortresses were equipped with the latest in Imperial weaponry and shield technology, and each would serve as a launch base for fleet operations and as a safe haven for civilians. Meanwhile, General Miles focused on expanding the role of the Guardians. Working with a team of biologists and cyberneticists, she developed a new breed of Guardian equipped with environmental adaptation technology. These second-generation Guardians could operate in extreme conditions: zero atmosphere, toxic environments, even the crushing depths of oceanic worlds that were previously inaccessible. On the surface of the Krillian-threatened planets, the Guardians demonstrated their enhanced capabilities. In one daring operation, a unit of these new Guardians infiltrated a Krillian-infested underwater colony. Their mission was to rescue civilians trapped in an underwater research facility surrounded by the swarm. The operation was fraught with peril as the Guardians navigated through dark, pressure-intense waters, evading Krillian predators that thrived in the abyss. The mission was a resounding success. Not only were the civilians saved, but the Guardians also collected valuable data on Krillian behaviors in aquatic environments, opening up new avenues for tactical exploitation. This victory was broadcast across the galaxy, a clear message of the Alliance's growing capabilities and its commitment to safeguarding all life, regardless of the environment. Back at Icarus Station, preparations were underway for what Admiral Zarkor and General Miles envisioned as the turning point of the war. They planned a coordinated series of strikes against the Krillian brood nests, now identified and mapped thanks to the data gathered by the Guardians. Each strike was to be preceded by feints and diversions, orchestrated to draw the swarm's forces away from the nests, allowing special ops teams to plant energy pulse bombs that would obliterate the nests without harming the surrounding ecosystems. As the hour of the offensive approached, the morale among the troops and civilian populations was higher than it had ever been. Communities across the threatened systems came together, supporting the war effort in any way they could. From manufacturing munitions to providing logistical support, every individual played a part. This unity was a testament to the new bonds formed under the pressure of war, a blend of diverse cultures and species, each contributing their strengths to a common cause. The day of the offensive, dubbed Operation Stellar Forge, arrived. Fleets moved into position, their paths cloaked by advanced stealth technology. On Icarus Station, Admiral Zarkor and General Miles oversaw the operation from the command center, surrounded by a team of the best tactical minds from both Earth and the Empire. As the first wave of attacks began, the galaxy held its breath. The operation was not just a military maneuver, it was a symbol of what could be achieved when disparate beings united against a common enemy. In the dark vastness of space, illuminated by the flashes of plasma cannons and the silent, deadly arcs of diving guardians, a new chapter in galactic history was being written, one of resilience, innovation, and indomitable spirit. As the coordinated strikes of Operation Stellar Forge echoed through the cosmos, the initial successes sparked waves of exhilaration across Allied territories. Each successful demolition of a Krillian brood nest not only crippled the swarm's ability to regenerate, but also disrupted their hierarchical command structures, causing disarray among their ranks. The strategic brilliance of the operation lay in its execution. Advanced cloaking devices concealed the movements of the strike teams, allowing them to infiltrate Krillian defenses undetected. Meanwhile, the second-generation Guardians showcased their new capabilities, from electromagnetic pulse discharges that disabled Krillian sensors to biochemical agents that dissolved the bonds of their exoskeletal armies. One of the most breathtaking moments of the campaign occurred on the shadowed moon of Zephyria, where a team of Guardians led a daring assault on a subterranean brood nest. The operation was perilous, with the team navigating through a network of bioluminescent tunnels teeming with Krillian defenders. The Guardians, synced to their human handlers through neural link technology, moved with lethal precision, their every sense tuned to the alien environment. At the heart of the nest, the team set their charges and extracted just moments before the detonation. The explosion sent shockwaves through the planet's crust, collapsing the nest and sealing it off permanently. This victory was not just tactical but also symbolic, showcasing the depth of strategic and emotional coordination between humans and their canine partners. Meanwhile, in the vast void of space, Admiral Zarkor's fleet engaged the swarm with renewed vigor. Capital ships unleashed broadsides of quantum torpedoes, creating spectacular explosions that lit up the darkness. Fighter squadrons, piloted by the best of both Earth and Imperial forces, darted through the debris, their laser cannons cutting through the enemy with precision. The turning tide of battle brought with it unexpected alliances. Several neighboring non-aligned systems, witnessing the effectiveness of the human Imperial strategy, offered their support. This influx of fresh fleets and resources added a new layer to the Alliance's operational capabilities, allowing them to expand their reach and protect more vulnerable sectors. Amidst these developments, General Miles initiated a bold diplomatic move. She reached out to the Zeltrons, a reclusive but technologically advanced race, known for their neutrality. In a historic meeting aboard the newly commissioned Unity Station, she brokered an agreement that saw the Zeltrons providing critical intelligence and technological support, further bolstering the Alliance's strategic depth. As the war progressed, the victories of Operation Stellar Forge became a catalyst for a broader coalition. Systems that had once stood on the sidelines, paralyzed by fear or divided by internal strife, were now united under a common banner. This unity was not born out of fear, but from a shared vision of a free and secure galaxy, inspired by the courage and ingenuity of the human Imperial Alliance. Back on Icarus Station, as Admiral Zarkor and General Miles reviewed the latest reports, they realized that the war was shifting. The Krillian swarm, though still a formidable foe, was recoiling under the relentless assault. The strategy sessions, once tense with the pressure of impending doom, now buzzed with the excitement of planning the final push to secure the galaxy. The Alliance had transformed from a desperate gamble into a beacon of hope. Across the galaxy, from the bustling trade hubs of the core worlds to the outermost colonies, people watched and waited, their eyes turned skyward, daring to dream of peace. As the final preparations were made for the decisive battle, the echoes of victory reverberated, a testament to what unity and determination could achieve in the face of overwhelming darkness. The campaign had reached its zenith as the Allied forces prepared for what was anticipated to be the culminating battle of the war, the siege of Vortex Prime, the central hub of Krillian command and control. Located in a volatile nebula, the hub was a fortified complex carved into a massive asteroid, surrounded by a dense field of space debris and lethal radiation, a natural fortress that had deterred previous assaults. The strategic planning for the siege was meticulous. Under the joint command of General Miles and Admiral Zarkor, the operation integrated every element of the Allied capabilities, from the advanced technological warfare provided by the Zeltrons to the brute force of the newly joined systems fleets. The plan was multi-phased, beginning with a deceptive maneuver designed to draw out the Krillian defenders. As the Allied fleets amassed, hidden by the nebula's swirling gases, the first phase was initiated. A contingent of decoy ships, piloted by drones, entered the perimeter of Vortex Prime. Their intrusion was designed to mimic a full-scale attack, provoking the Krillian forces to deploy their formidable swarm fleets. In the depths of space, away from the immediate theater, the real strength of the Alliance lay in wait. The Guardians, alongside special ops teams from various Allied species, were aboard stealth carriers, ready to infiltrate the asteroid once the Krillian forces were engaged. The Krillians took the bait. As their fleet swarmed out to meet the decoy attack, Admiral Zarkor gave the signal. With precision born of months of relentless combat, the main Allied fleets surged from their cover, their weapon systems unleashing a devastating barrage that cut through the disoriented Krillian ships. Simultaneously, the Guardians and their teams made their stealthy approach to Vortex Prime. Equipped with the latest in cloaking and shield technology, they navigated through the debris field, evading sensors and automated defenses. Their mission was critical: enter the asteroid and disable its core reactors, which powered the entire Krillian command network. Inside Vortex Prime, the corridors were dimly lit, and the air was thick with the metallic scent of the Krillian biotech. The Guardians, now veterans of countless skirmishes, moved with a silent, deadly grace, their senses tuned to the slightest hint of danger. Each corner turned could spell a violent confrontation with Krillian defenders, but the teams advanced, undeterred. Back in the nebula, the battle raged with ferocity. The Allied ships maneuvered through the chaos, their coordinated fire patterns creating a lethal dance of destruction. Every blast from their cannons was synchronized with the movements of their comrades, a ballet of battle that slowly but surely gained them ground. Inside the asteroid, the Guardians reached the core reactors. With precision, they placed the explosive charges, timed to coincide with the peak of the space battle outside. As they retreated, making their way back through the labyrinthine tunnels of the hub, the charges detonated. A deep, resonant boom echoed through Vortex Prime, and the lights flickered and died as the core reactors went offline. The effect was immediate. Without their command network, the Krillian forces were plunged into confusion. Their coordinated attacks faltered, and their defense systems went dark. Seizing the moment, the Allied fleets pressed forward, their final assault devastating the leaderless swarm. As the last of the Krillian ships were destroyed or fled the battle, cheers erupted across the Allied communications channels. Vortex Prime was captured, its defenses neutralized, and its command structures dismantled. In the aftermath, as the fleets regrouped and the reports of victory were sent out across the galaxy, a sense of profound relief mixed with triumph swept through the ranks of the Alliance. They had faced a formidable enemy, one that had threatened the very fabric of the galaxy, and they had prevailed. The victory at Vortex Prime was not just a military success. It was a symbol of what could be achieved when disparate beings united under a common cause. The galaxy, once riven by fear and division, now glimpsed the potential for a new era of cooperation and peace. As the leaders of the Alliance met to discuss the future, the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, a silent witness to the dawn of a new chapter in galactic history. In the wake of the decisive victory at Vortex Prime, the galaxy found itself at a crucial juncture. The old order, marked by territorial conflicts and isolationist policies, was no longer tenable in the face of the unity that had triumphed over the Krillian swarm. Inspired by the unprecedented cooperation between Earth and the Galactic Empire, discussions began about a formal structure to sustain this newfound harmony. The result was the formation of the Galactic Council, a multi-species body dedicated to peacekeeping and mutual development across the cosmos. The inaugural session of the Galactic Council was held on Unity Station, a newly constructed space station designed to be a neutral ground for diplomacy and exchange. The architecture of Unity Station itself was a symbol of the Council's ideals. Sweeping curves and transparent domes allowed light to flood the meeting halls. Designed collaboratively by the finest architects from several planets, each contributing elements from their own culture. General Miles, now regarded as a hero and a visionary, was appointed as one of the primary representatives of Earth. Alongside her, Admiral Zarkor served as the Galactic Empire's senior delegate. Their leadership during the war had not only proven their military acumen, but also their ability to bridge worlds and ideologies. The Council's first order of business was addressing the remnants of the Krillian threat. Though the Hive's command structure had been dismantled, isolated pockets of the swarm still existed, scattered across remote sectors. The Council agreed on a formation of a joint task force to seek out and neutralize these remnants, ensuring they could never regroup to pose a galactic threat again. However, the ambitions of the Galactic Council extended beyond mere military cooperation. They launched initiatives to foster trade, cultural exchanges, and scientific collaboration. One of the most ambitious projects was the Galactic Archive, an immense digital repository designed to house knowledge from all member civilizations. This was not just a library, but a living database, equipped with advanced AI capable of translating and disseminating information across different languages and formats. Another significant breakthrough was in the field of technology sharing. The Zeltrons, once reclusive, contributed advanced medical technologies that significantly improved health outcomes across less developed worlds. In return, they gained access to human and imperial innovations in propulsion and energy generation, fostering a cycle of mutual improvement that propelled technological progress at an unprecedented rate. Amidst these developments, the role of the Guardians evolved. No longer just military assets, they became symbols of the Council's outreach efforts, participating in peacekeeping missions, and serving as ambassadors of goodwill. Their unique abilities were also adapted for rescue operations in disaster-struck regions, further cementing their place as beloved figures across the galaxy. As the first anniversary of the Galactic Council approached, a grand celebration was planned on Unity Station. Representatives from numerous systems, including those once wary of joining, came to witness and participate in the festivities. The event featured cultural performances, art exhibits, and a showcase of technological marvels, a testament to the diverse beauty and capability of the galaxy's inhabitants. During the celebration, General Miles took a moment to address the gathered crowd, her words broadcast across countless worlds. Today we stand together not as separate species or empires, but as a united galaxy. Our differences, once sources of conflict, now enrich us, make us stronger. Let us continue to build on this foundation, a galaxy where every voice is heard and every life valued. Her speech was met with resounding applause, a chorus of hope and commitment echoing through the halls of Unity Station. The stars outside, a silent backdrop to this historic moment, seemed to twinkle in approval, their ancient light a beacon for the galaxy's promising future. The establishment of the Galactic Council marked not the end, but the beginning of a new era, an era of exploration, understanding, and cooperation, guided by the principles that had once brought a disparate group of allies together to save their worlds from the brink of destruction. As the Galactic Council celebrated its first anniversary, the galaxies were alive with activity and newfound cooperation. However, beneath the surface of these celebrations, a quieter, more cautious dialogue was taking place among the Council's security division. Despite the peace, there were ripples of unrest and pockets of resistance that threatened to destabilize the fragile unity. General Miles, now a seasoned diplomat, and Admiral Zarkor convened a special session away from the public eye, in the secure confines of Unity Station's Strategic Command Center. Here, They reviewed intelligence reports indicating that a coalition of fringe elements, disenchanted with the rapid changes and loss of autonomy, was forming. These groups, calling themselves the Stellar Sovereignty Alliance, argued that the Galactic Council's efforts to integrate diverse systems under a single banner diluted their cultural identities and historical rights. To address this emerging threat without escalating tensions, General Miles proposed the formation of the Harmony Brigade, a special ops team composed of members from various council species, trained in both combat and diplomacy. The brigade's mission was to engage with these dissenting groups, understand their grievances, and find peaceful resolutions where possible. They would also be tasked with disrupting any plans that threatened the Council's stability. Meanwhile, Admiral Zarkor focused on strengthening the Council's defensive capabilities. He orchestrated a series of military exercises that simulated various threat scenarios, ensuring that the Council's response would be swift and effective should the need arise. These exercises, dubbed Operation Starshield, were designed not only to maintain military readiness, but also to demonstrate the Council's commitment to protecting all member systems. In parallel to these security measures, the Council launched an initiative called Voices of the Galaxy. This program aimed to give a platform to every culture within the Council's jurisdiction, celebrating their unique contributions through media, art, and technology. The initiative was a resounding success, culminating in a month-long festival on Unity Station, where cultural heritage and future aspirations were showcased side by side. During one such festival, a breakthrough occurred. A delegate from the Stellar Sovereignty Alliance, moved by the displays of unity and respect for individual cultures, requested a private meeting with General Miles. In a quiet garden aboard Unity Station, under the gentle light of bioluminescent plants, they spoke of their concerns and hopes. The delegate expressed fears that their traditions were being overshadowed by larger, more dominant cultures within the Council. General Miles listened with genuine empathy, promising to advocate for policies that ensured cultural preservation and representation. She proposed a new council committee dedicated to cultural integrity, which would oversee that all cultural practices were respected and integrated into the Council's policies. This committee would also serve as a mediator in disputes related to cultural issues, ensuring that voices like those of the Sovereignty Alliance were heard and valued. This meeting sparked a series of dialogues across various sectors, leading to the Unity Amendments to the Council's charter. These amendments were crafted to ensure that while working towards a common future, the Council would also protect the heritage and autonomy of its diverse members. As the amendments were ratified in a grand ceremony, the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, their light a mirror to the renewed hope that flickered across the galaxy. General Miles, addressing the Council, summed up the sentiment. Today, we not only celebrate our unity, but also our diversity. We're not just a council of planets, but a family of stars, each unique, each valuable. With the establishment of the Harmony Brigade and the successful integration of the Unity Amendments, the Galactic Council solidified its foundation, becoming a beacon of hope, diversity, and cooperation. A true alliance not just of necessity, but of shared dreams and mutual respect. The galaxies watched and waited, eager for the dawn of this new era, ready to face any challenges together under the banner of unity in the watchful eyes of the stars. As the Galactic Council thrived under its new amendments and initiatives, a sense of accomplishment and forward momentum pervaded the member worlds. Yet the universe, vast and full of mysteries, held more in store for the intrepid alliance. General Miles, ever vigilant, initiated a council-wide program named Horizons Beyond, aimed at exploring uncharted territories and fostering advancements in science and exploration. The flagship project under this initiative was the construction of the Starlight Voyager, a state-of-the-art exploration vessel equipped with the latest advancements in propulsion, life support, and defensive technologies. Its mission was to venture beyond the known boundaries of the Council's space, to establish first contact with distant civilizations, and to study cosmic phenomena that could potentially benefit or threaten the Council's worlds. Admiral Zarkor, now a prominent voice for peace and security, oversaw the integration of military and civilian scientific resources, This blend ensured that the Starlight Voyager was not only a vessel of discovery, but also a symbol of the Council's commitment to peace and mutual protection. As the Starlight Voyager prepared for its maiden voyage, a grand send-off ceremony was held on Unity Station. Representatives from all member species gathered to witness this new chapter in galactic history. The ship's crew, a diverse group of scientists, diplomats, and soldiers, represented the best of the Council's ideals: cooperation, bravery, and an insatiable curiosity about the universe. Meanwhile, back on the Council worlds, another significant development was taking shape. The Harmony Brigade, successfully navigating several diplomatic crises, inspired the establishment of the Cultural Preservation Corps. This new body was tasked with visiting member worlds to document, support, and assist in preserving cultural landmarks and practices that were at risk of being forgotten in the face of rapid technological advancement and interstellar integration. On its first mission, the Starlight Voyager encountered a previously unknown spatial anomaly. The anomaly, a swirling vortex of energy and exotic particles, presented both a challenge and an opportunity. The ship's chief scientist, Dr. Lena Revo from Earth, coordinated a series of complex experiments to harness energy from the anomaly. These experiments not only provided invaluable data, but also demonstrated the potential for new energy sources that could one day power entire planets. Back on the Council planets, the reports from the Voyager's mission ignited a renewed interest in the sciences and space travel. Universities and research institutions saw a surge in enrollment and funding, sparking a renaissance of innovation and discovery. As these developments unfolded, General Miles took a moment to address the Council. Her speech, filled with pride and hope, emphasized the importance of looking outward and inward simultaneously. As we reach out to the stars, let us also reach into our hearts and our histories. Let the knowledge we gain illuminate not only the universe around us, but also the universe within each of us. As the Starlight Voyager ventured further into the unknown, it sent back images of incredible beauty. Nebulae painting the darkness with vibrant colors, distant galaxies spinning gracefully, and the infinite dance of stars and planets. Each image, each discovery, was a testament to the Council's courage and curiosity. In the twilight of her career, General Miles stood on the viewing deck of Unity Station, gazing out at the expanding universe. The stars, once distant and cold, now seemed familiar, like beacons lighting the way to new adventures. Under her leadership and the united efforts of countless others, the galaxy had not only averted destruction, but had embraced a future full of potential and promise. As the chapter of her leadership closed, the next generation of leaders inspired by her legacy stepped forward. The galaxy, once racked by war and division, now looked to the horizons beyond with optimism and unity, ready to face whatever challenges and wonders lay in the vast starlit expanse.